Irma. Good evening, I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Kim Holden. More on that in just a moment, but first, more on the latest advisory on Hurricane Irma came out just moments ago.
Yeah, let's send it straight over to Chief Meteorologist David Bernard.
Guys, here's a close-up of the satellite as it's happening right now. This hurricane is moving in on the northern Leeward Islands. In fact, the eye wall, the Category 5 winds, are only a couple hours away from the island of Antigua. This will probably be the most powerful hurricane to impact this part of the Caribbean that we have in the historical record. Irma tonight, still a Category 5. 185-mile-per-hour winds, incredibly low pressure, 916 millibars, now moving officially just north of due west at 15 miles per hour, so still at a pretty good clip. The forecast track, the forecast intensity through Thursday has not changed. It's a very narrow cone tracking near or north of Puerto Rico and maybe near or north of the Dominican Republic to near the Turks and Caicos as a 160-mile-per-hour hurricane by Thursday evening. Again, if it stays north of these islands, it's not going to weaken. If it runs over the Dominican Republic, we could have a weaker storm. But right now, most tracks take it north of it. It might skirt portions of the northern Cuban coastline, but even that's in doubt. But notice that the cone is way down here to the south. So the storm could be down here. That is a possibility. But notice on Saturday, still a powerful storm, but a bend in the cone is developing, and some kind of northward movement is still expected as we go into Sunday with a major hurricane somewhere over central South Florida or possibly the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. Another close-up shot shows the hurricane again coming into the island of Antigua and Barbuda as we speak, a Category 5. If we put on the track on where this thing has been, notice not much deviation, just a slight bend north of due west over the last 3 to 4 hours. Now, what are the warnings that are in effect? We have hurricane warnings in effect for the Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and also Puerto Rico. And the hurricane watches have now been extended into the Cuba area. So we don't have any watches for the United States, but Cuba now has a hurricane watch in effect. What about the hurricane hunters? I mean, this thing is not getting any weaker. They found 913 millibars on one pass, and the last one had 165-mile-per-hour winds. There we saw a peak flight level wind of 182. Wind speed probabilities. Why am I showing you these? These are the chance for tropical storm force winds between now and Monday. It's a sure bet over the next 72 hours into the Turks and Caicos. But what about for us in the United States? Look at our number. Incredibly low. 1%, negligible. Irma is not a threat to southeast Louisiana as of yet. We do not see any reliable computer model bringing it in our direction. In fact, if we look at the guidance tonight, there's that guaranteed west-northwest movement. Then we start to see a split, right? Saturday and Sunday and then into Monday, but all have a northerly turn. Some are way out here. Most or over the Florida Peninsula. The official track, though, is on the southern end of these models. So the Hurricane Center is saying, yeah, we don't believe these ones out to the east. We believe the ones that are further to the west. And in fact, if we look at the GFS ensembles, which is the American model, and it's changed up a bunch of times to make the atmosphere react differently to see if the track would change, all of these present different solutions. They all still show a northward turn on Sunday. There's one way out here, unlikely. There's one way out here, very unlikely. Most likely, somewhere in between here. And that's the basis of the cone tonight from the Hurricane Center. There you can see their forecast points right down the middle. Now, why is all this going to happen? Big high pressure to the north. That's steering Irma to the west. That's going to be the case into Thursday. That high is going to stay strong. But the cold front that's coming for us tomorrow to bring us the great weather, that's going to stall on Sunday. That's probably not enough to turn the storm. What's going to turn the storm is this X, a strong upper level low coming out of the plains on Friday and Saturday and diving to the south and east. Both reliable global models say this is going to happen. If this happens and this upper level low drops down into the northern Gulf, Irma's probably going to feel that and start that track to the north. Could this change? Yes. But everything we're seeing now is saying that's how it's going to play out. So we're feeling good about it tonight. Keep in mind, there still could be a change down the road, but for now, we're in pretty good shape. Tropical depression 13 in the Gulf. The science is pretty good. Otherwise, we'd be pretty panicked with a storm in the Gulf. But right now, it appears that's going to stay in Mexico. That's staying to the south. And Jose, way out here, not talking about it we're focusing on Irma. Again, I'll be back a little bit later on with more details on Irma, what it all means for our forecast, and the cold weather that's coming. Why don't we enjoy that? We'll talk about something positive as well.
See you in a few. Thanks a lot, David. While FEMA continues its recovery efforts in Houston.